Alrighty, week 7. What a wonderful, we are just cooking. Hopefully, you are enjoying this class. Now, what's cool for me is by the time you've reviewed this, most likely, I will have seen you for your code review and got to meet you, which is a really fun part for me of this class. So, as in most weeks, we're going to have two parts. Part 2, I'll start with, which is just, give me your review of the code review process. I've told you why I feel it's important. Previous students have explained to me why it's important. Like, what was your experience, or is there anything maybe you had done differently or that you thought worked well, or just anything, right? So, this is, and I'll put the grades on here. I haven't been great about that. Like, this is where 25% of this work, and the rest of it is actually we're going to do some code. Okay. So, we'll start with that. So, this week in the course, through 53, you're going to first set up a new piece of software on your system, install a new third-party device. Now, by the way, you can, if you haven't seen, there are other ways to run this. VS Code has these built in. I am pointing to web server for Chrome, but I personally have been using live server for a while. That's what's running down here for me. Okay. So just FYI, I think I like live server. It's just easy because from whatever directory you run it in, that's where the files will be served out of. It's just easy. And that's why I use it. So I hope you enjoyed it as well. Another way to look at your code, the output, especially now that we're officially moving to the server. Okay, so here's my output, and I'll show you this as a way to explain what you need to do for part 1. So I want you to take the last learn together that we did, and then I want you to put a button on here, and then I want you to write an event listener that will display the content that previously we just displayed as quickly as the page loaded because it was running in sequence. Now I actually want you to have a button that does that. Now, in this case, it'd be like click and it shows you the results of whatever, right, your display on pages. So we're simply adding this button to your code. And the thing about this is I'm going to say this here, right? So attempt this work without looking at my code or other students' code and see if you can get it done. Like, consider this a challenge, because it is in a way, right? And then if you are successful, right, in your reply, tell us that, right? And if you weren't, you needed to look at code, that's cool too. The important part of this is just to be honest and own it, right? It's like, it's okay if you have to look, it's okay if you don't, but just say, yeah, I had to look, or no, I didn't, and I got it done. And once you get it done, then feel free to go review code and see how others did it. I'm going to put additional challenge here. Notice how once I run it, click it, run the event listener code that's in here, I do it again, it just duplicates. Could you figure out a way to make that not happen, to where it only shows the results rather than just to, and you can kind of see what it's doing here. It's just placing it underneath the last results. Wonder if there's a way, there is, that you could do that, right? So again, I'm not going to show you. By the time you look at my code, I will have fixed that thing, that particular functionality. But I think it's a fun thing to think about and to see how could I get that to not duplicate, and why is that duplicating that code or that output? Okay, so I'm going to add that. So there's the two things I want to see, and then you reply again, give us your git hack. Now the thing is, and this is important to understand, you're running live server, but we will not see that output unless you give us the git hack link that we've been doing. Okay, and then create another directory. Now, I actually ended up, and I'm going to show you this, and this is important. So let's move to the standard, and I wasn't great about it, so I'm trying to do what I'm asking you. So here's my week 7. You could call it W7 or whatever. I've renamed my JS file to app index. Of course, index was already, I'm sorry, app.js, but index.html was already there. So that's all good. And again, right, so you'll give us the git hack link, but that's the style. And actually I have that in my style guide, so make sure you follow along with that piece. Alrighty, that's it for this week. Enjoy, and I will talk to you soon.